Would you bury your humanity for the sake of revenge? Giving your enemies a taste of their own medicine, granting them a quick end, or tormenting them for the rest of their lives? Or would you keep your humanity for a different type of revenge? Living the happiest life you could ever lead, proving to them that you're unaffected by their betrayal. Whichever you choose, it doesn't really matter because both are still forms of revenge, and both always lead to the same set of choices that one must make in the final step of their revenge. What is that? Forgiveness and forgetfulness. One might say that it's best to forgive and forget, but is that really for the best? To do both? To forgive them? To forget what they did to you? No, I disagree. And maybe you do too. After all, if we put ourselves in Dorothy's shoes at the end of the OVERZONE event, then can we confidently say that we would be able to forgive and forget? Maybe, maybe not. It's quite easy to say that the betrayal they experienced from the humans was all for the greater good, that there were political issues, that they were too much of a risk, that humans are more of a priority than Nikkes, that Nikkes are no longer considered human and therefore don't matter as much. But regardless of the reason for their betrayal, what the Goddess Squad experienced and what they felt were still very real, very human. Especially Dorothy's reaction to the fact that they weren't welcomed by the very people they protected, that she can't go to paradise that she longed so much for, that she couldn't keep her promise with Pinne. Such an outburst of emotions can't be dismissed as simply nothing. Such devastation and bitterness inside of her, boiling over and ready to explode in a way that would truly destroy herself. Even if she's a Nikke, and even if humanity truly had a good reason for not letting them into the Ark, I feel like she's still allowed to grieve and experience all of the emotions of bitterness, anger, and hatred towards the people who really did betray her, even if it was for the greater good. But I have to say, that phrase, "all for the greater good," sure does make my stomach churn and my blood boil. Doesn't it for you as well? In fact, such a phrase and Dorothy's experience could remind someone of many things in life. Rage, disbelief, and so much exhaustion, with thoughts like, am I not human? Am I not allowed to rest? Not even a little? What did I even do to deserve this? Just what am I doing all this for if all I get is a slap in the face? I can't believe I wasted so much time and effort for nothing. Nothing! Becoming mere chess pieces in a game that you never wanted to take part in, where a simple ask for rest turns into a battle about undermining someone's authority. A simple desire to be seen as a person turns into a battle about power and politics. A simple day turns into a battle about survival of the fittest. And now you're tired. So very tired of the world around you, of your life going nowhere, of having to pander to those you hate, to strangers, to friends, to family, to everyone. Trapped in a world so small, so suffocating, that you wish you could break free and rest already. So, you dive into the world of the internet, hoping that this will be the very thing that'll save you. But soon you realize that not even the internet is enough of a refuge to hide from the pains of the world around you. The workplace, school, and even home can feel so suffocating, like a prison in a dry, empty, and vast land. With only the sun and moon shining down on us, the sky fading into darkness, and the shrieking wind piercing painfully into our ears. Such imagery sure sounds familiar though, doesn't it? That's right, it's like the guard post that the Goddess Squad was stationed at. Barren, dangerous, alone. When they had to survive for so many days without any supplies, I can only imagine the fragility of their emotional state, with no way to know if things would get better from here or if it would all end there. But what came with the hope of survival? was the sting of betrayal at the very end. And even then, when they became stranded with permanently closed communication channels, I still hoped that they would move together as a group, despite knowing that in the future Snow White moved alone. And just like that pre-knowledge, they indeed didn't move together as a group, leaving Dorothy all alone with her delusions until she accepted Pina's death. But with that acceptance of the deaths of those she cared deeply about, came an overwhelming sense of emptiness. Because then, it was just her and the guard post, her and the rain, her and the sun, her, alone. But perhaps because she was all alone, with only nature surrounding her, which in her case was the wind, rain, sun, moon, and sky, it reminded me of something. In particular, a quote by Henry David Thoreau from the Walden Book. He said, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what I had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived." This quote may seem irrelevant at first, but personally, I felt like it resonated well with Dorothy's situation, but also with ourselves. Because when there is only nature and yourself, alone, you start to see the truth. You start to see the way that they invalidated your existence as a human being, forcing you to minimize your importance, causing you to think that being like a robot, like a cog in a doomed machine, is the best decision to make. That you deserve nothing but contempt, that there is nothing that you can do anymore. That your time, your efforts, are all for the company, the school, the peers, the bigger picture, rather than for yourself. Any attempts at breaking out of the system and investing in yourself is seen as a sign of rebellion, as a dishonorable course of action. And such efforts are futile and selfish, as if you are not a human being like them. You start to scoff at the way that they try to raise themselves up into the sky, as if they were gods, dragging people by their hair, dangling a golden ticket in front of their face, and kicking down those who oppose them in any way, gloating in the suffering of others while counting the bills in their hands lazily. But at the next moment, you abruptly realize that you're standing at the crossroads, thinking to yourself, just which way should you take? After all, both are paths of revenge, but they also hold different implications for the people around you, and most importantly, for yourself. Such was the dilemma Dorothy found herself in when she finally took a step out of that guard post. Was she to look for the queen like the others? Was she to wander around lost, no longer having a true purpose in her life? Losing everything for nothing, only burned by the cruelty of life and death. Everything became gray, no longer able to see the paths in front of her as if a dense fog surrounded and covered everything in her path. No longer able to know what she was, how she should live, and why she should even live in the first place. But when she reached the field of flowers and saw that signpost, everything finally exploded inside of her like a volcano, crying out bitterly in front of that post. Lies, all lies, liars, every last one of you. I'm so sorry, everyone. I don't think I can do this. I will get it back. This place only exists because of us. It belongs to us. I will take back what is rightfully ours, no matter what it takes. One can only imagine what her mind could have screamed out to the world in the meantime. Maybe something along the lines of, how could they do this to us? How can they take away our right, our paradise? We were the ones who saved them. We were the ones who protected them. Reason? You think I care about your reasons for not letting us in? For not giving us what we rightfully deserve? You think we're okay with being treated as if we're historical legends and then being thrown out like trash? Oh, you thought wrong. I might have lost everything. No, because I lost everything, I can do anything now, no matter what. So there's only one thing left to do on this land, and in my life, Take back everything we deserve. Take back the Ark from those traitors. Clearly with similar thoughts, Dorothy decided to take the path of revenge that buried the last bit of her humanity inside the deepest crevices of her mind, ending on an ominous note as we reach the end of the OVERZONE event. But even if she chose such a path, it doesn't mean that we as players need to take the same path as her, right? In fact, I'm hopeful that despite Dorothy going down such a path, she'll eventually find her way again, because deep inside of her, she still has that big heart that most likely contributed to why she had a fragile mentality to begin with. While we may as commanders be integral in helping her rediscover that big heart of hers later in the story, I do believe that she'll eventually realize that this type of revenge doesn't need to be done at all, saving herself from her own darkness, and instead focusing on the people who still do care about her. Because hurting someone intentionally might not lead to the outcome that she truly wanted in the end. But if that's the case, then does that mean that we can only forgive the traitors to move forward in life? To reach the outcome that we really want in the end? I would say yes, but just because I say yes, it doesn't mean that you need to forget about what they did to you. Because forgiving is an act for your benefit, not theirs, while forgetting is an act for their benefit, not yours. So by not forgetting, you can better protect yourself in the future. And by forgiving, you can finally let go and move forward with your life, to live a happier life than before, keeping your humanity and remembering who you truly are as a person. And perhaps in a lot of cases, that is the best kind of revenge. But of course, that's easier said than done. So whether Dorothy will reach this understanding later in the future, with our help as the commander, or on her own, or even never, is something I'll wait to find out on my own. But in the meantime, we know that the path of revenge that Dorothy is currently taking is a dark path, one that's not healthy for her or for anyone else, only leading to self-destruction and the dissolution of relationships with those who do truly care about her. Something that is never good to sacrifice, a path brimming with death, chaos, and sadness. So much sadness that she'll continue drowning in it until someone or something pulls her out of it. Whether it's another Pinne or another Dorothy. Because to Dorothy, this path to revenge is her truth, her justice, her purpose in life. And nothing can easily take that away from her. At least, not yet. Not until she's truly ready to discover the path that she was actually meant to take. A different kind of path, a different kind of revenge, in the form of hope, of forgiveness, of freedom, becoming the true Dorothy, the one who breaks free from her darkness, emerging herself from the chrysalis she was once trapped in. No longer a leader, no longer an avenger, but rather a butterfly, fluttering through the sky, forever free from her pain, forever free from her darkness.